If you've been told that you can't flip houses because you don't have any money, you have a full-time job, or your market is too expensive, it's a 100% lie. Somebody is lying to you. On this video, I'm gonna show you how two Canadians, Sohail and Karimi, made over $60,000 flipping a house from Canada that is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I know that you're gonna wanna learn all the tactics and strategies they use to make a ton of money, so you can too. Okay, so last June, you started buying and you've bought 11 properties and you sold one, is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And are you doing this in Canada? You mentioned you guys are from Canada. You talk a little bit about your market.
Oh, so our market is Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. I'm reaching out to other markets too right now, but this is currently our main markets is Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. We chose Pittsburgh to start with because it's easy for us to like drive down to. It's like 5 hours away from us. We did a lot of research for it's an upcoming city. And, like the median home prices are below the average American home prices. So, in case something happens, we wanted to be sure that, we're not impacted by the recession because it was looming, right, when we started the business.
Where are you guys? You're in Toronto?
Toronto, yes.
Okay. I'm not sure if we got that before. So in Toronto, 5 hour drive. So the other thing that I think about that you kind of talked to a little bit was price point, things adjusting and making a shift. One thing is to have an exit strategy on the back end of some of these flips. So I always loved Pensacola and Chattanooga when we were investing there specifically. I picked those markets because it was a low price point, but it also had great rental rates and great rental opportunities. So if I ever got stuck with a house or something happened, didn't go well, it was a market that I would love to have some rental properties in. They rent really, really well. And so I'd always look at them from, let's just say I do break even or I'm only going to make 5K. What about holding that property and refinancing out and keeping a rental property there? Okay, let's talk about the numbers on the house that you did there. Was it in Pittsburgh or Philadelphia?
So it was in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Okay, so we got one that you've sold in Pittsburgh. How did you find the property?
The property was on the MLS, but it was really interesting how we bought it. It was listed for 125,000. We offered 110K for it based on our calculations.
So we go by the 70% rule in case anybody, is not aware of it.
70% rule, 70% ARV minus repairs is your offer
the max
price?
offer.
Correct. Yeah. Yes.
How long was it listed for? Do you remember?
It was pretty quick, really
quick. Yeah.
So it was a house that hadn't been on the market very long.
Yeah, no.
Okay. When I just saw it, I bet everybody listening is like, wait, listed for 125 and you offered 110. That seems, I'd be offering 70.
There was something interesting that happened on that. Yeah. So when we offered 110, the opposite agent from the seller's side, she got back to us saying, you offer 115,000, but you put an inspection clause on it. So our agent was very gleeful, he was happy saying, we put an inspection clause on it, it opens up a can of worms, right? So we put the inspection clause on it, we offered 115, we paid the deposit and then got the inspection done within 5 days. And then the inspection report said that the repairs needed were about $30,000. So we went back to the seller and said that, look, this is what the inspection report came out to be. And we offered 90K for it.
Okay, let me just recap this. You originally offered 110.
Yeah.
But the seller said, we'll do 115. So come up 5K and we'll do it. You guys said yes, but we're going to have an inspection contingency. You did a professional inspection. So you had a home inspector go out there and then wrote this big long report, just beating up the house, saying how horrible it was, and said you need $30,000 of work. And you said, you know what? We're not going to hit you for 30,000, but we're going to hit you for 25 and we'll buy it for 90K.
Yeah. Correct. So they got back asking for 95 and we agreed for 92,500.
Okay. So you try to renegotiate down to 90. They said no, 95,000. And then you said, we'll do it at 92.5.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So 92,500 is our purchase price.
So we only went up, we already had factored in the rehab cost. But then, our rehab cost went higher because of the inspection report, because there were termite issues and then...
Termites? What else was on there that was kind of a big...
Termite issues. There was some cracks in the wall. and then there was like a outside retaining wall needed to be fixed again. That's that outside exterior, like a backyard retaining wall.
Yeah.
Because most of the houses in Pittsburgh is like on a hill. So like you get off of a hill and then other houses on another hill. So it's like, you gotta you gotta fix those retaining walls before you sell the property. So so our rehab cost went higher. So that's why we renegotiated.
Got it. So 92,500 purchase price. What was your estimated ARV when you guys were running the numbers on this house?
When we first quoted, we were having an ARV in mind of 250,000.
Okay. Wow. $250,000 ARV and it's listed at 125,000. And what did you expect your rehab cost to be?
At that time, it was like 60,000.
60. If I do the 70% rule, and it's going to be public math, 30% of 250 is 75K. So I subtract 250 minus 75K, I get 175. And then I subtract 60K from that, I get 115,000. Which your offer was 110. They came back at 115. You said yes. So your 70% rule. The challenge with the 70% rule is if the ARV is really low, okay? If the ARV is very low. So let's say the ARV is 100,000. If the ARV is 100,000, your 70% rule is the 70% minus repair costs. So in that 30%, in the 30% that you're removing from the ARV is a few things. It's your fixed costs, okay, which includes money, holding costs, all of those things, closing costs, all that stuff. And it includes your profit. So your profit and your fixed costs are all included in there. Closing costs, I don't know, you got to mow the grass, you got to shovel snow in Pittsburgh during the winter. You've got money costs, you got hard money loans, you got points, you've got insurance, right? You've got utilities, you got power, you got trash, maybe you got sewer, you got water, you got all that stuff, right? So that's all included. So if you have a $100,000 ARV, that means $30,000, you have all those fixed costs and your profit. So at a very low ARV, the 70% rule kind of falls apart. So you got to be careful of that. And then on a really high ARV, let's say the ARV is $1 million, 300,000 might be too much to run your numbers. But when you got an ARV of 250, now in that 75K is your money costs, your closing costs, your utilities, all those things, and your profit. It plays a lot better when we have that ARV around 200 to 300 or 400 or so. So I just want to put that caution out because then people are going to be like, oh, everybody should use the 70% rule. Like that used to be the thing. Everybody would do it. And really, I prefer a more fixed cost model where I'm actually building out all the fixed costs. So I just want to put that disclaimer out there. But your numbers work really well in this case. And what I've always found was like I almost always landed at like 50% ARV in my world where it doesn't work for $1 million or $2 million properties, but it does in that sweet spot of like, 200 to 350 or so where my ARVs would always land in Pensacola. Okay. $60,000 rehab budget in the beginning, ARV of 250. So you closed on it, 92,500. How did you fund the property?
We had an internal lender. We didn't take a hard money loan.
Private money. Okay, yeah. Are you comfortable sharing what the terms were on that and what it looked like?
So it was no origination fees. It's just a pure 15% loan.
No points, 15% interest?
Yeah.
Yep.
Monthly payments or a balloon at the end?
Balloon.
That's the nice thing about private lenders is you can set the terms, you can set the structure. So no points, 15% interest, no payments. Did they fund 100% of it?
Yeah.
So 100% of the purchase. What about the rehab?
Yeah, rehab included.
Everything.
Yeah. Okay. Did they give you all the money up front or did you have to do a draw on the rehab money?
No, we did draws.
Okay. And so is this a professional money lender or was it like friend, family, somebody?
Friends and family.
Okay. Friend and family. And I'm assuming you only paid interest on the money that you were borrowing for the time that you had it.
Yeah.
Correct.
The difference here, sometimes if you have a professional hard money lender and you have the purchase price and rehab, they're going to charge you on all of it the whole time because they can't use it. They got to put it in. I got to put it away in an account. So that's how I work. If I do a hard money loan, I'm charging on the entire amount, whether you have the draw out or not. Now, in this case, if they took a $10,000 draw, on day one, and then they didn't get the next $10,000 for another month, then they're not paying on that extra $10,000 for another month. So they're getting that. They're only paying interest when they have it, and it's all accruing, so they don't have to make monthly payments either, which is a big deal when you're talking about cash flow for a flip like this. Cool. And I'm sure that money lender was happy when you paid them back with 15% interest. They're like, how many more of these are we going to do?
They reinvested back in our company.
Into another deal.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You want to keep it rolling.
Yep. I'm sure. Tell them to go play poker with some of their friends and tell them about all the money they're making in real estate, then you'll get 4 or 5 more investors. So, okay, so you closed on it. Is it hard to close on a property in the U.S. when you live in Canada? Like, is there anything extra that has to happen?
No. It's very simple, very easy. In fact, for Canadians, we don't even have to travel to the US to close. We sign before a notary in Canada, and that's all. So I think US laws for business are very pro-business, and we love it.
Yeah.
And that's why we were able to scale up so fast, right?
Okay, during the rehab, like how long did the rehab take? What happened along the way? Were there any surprises?
So rehab, I usually, handle the rehab in our, business model. He takes care of the finances. I take care of the rehab. So this rehab was fairly quick. We did like cosmetic rehab, and then we refinished, cupboards and all of that. So we finished the whole rehab in about 3.5, 4 months.
3.5 to 4 months. Was it a contractor, like a general contractor you used?
Yes, general contractor. Yes.
Okay. And how'd you find them?
I did some, cold calling. So I talked to like realtors of our comms, and then I tried to find out if they have some contractors that we can, they can share numbers of. So like our comms. So like I just told our contractor that we just have to copy this house. Whatever you did, help the previous owner sell their house. We want to do something similar over here. And he understood the plan. We didn't want it to go super overboard with the reno, and we just wanted to like test water, like how things are gonna play out. We were like because it's our first deal, right? You don't know how things are gonna play out, so we didn't want it to go super overboard with all the finishes. We tried to like retain the cabinets. We did like new kitchen, new countertops. The backsplash, new bathroom fixtures, everything new over there. So that's the thing, right? We make money in the kitchen and the bathroom reno. Everything else where there is like a big area, people don't try to concentrate over there. But bathroom and kitchen, you wanna concentrate to like make the returns.
You got it fixed up. Were there anything that you didn't foresee that came up, or any problems, or was it pretty smooth?
Yeah, so we didn't budget enough for the exterior work. We were planning to keep it as a rental before, but then we switched. We were like, because our realtor, he was like, if you want to keep it, you can keep it. You'll make it like a cash flowing property and then sell it, because it's very close to the university. During the rehab stage, our realtor, he was like, the area is pretty good. It's turning. You might want to flip this one. And we were like, okay, so we didn't plan the exterior work to be done. We were like, we just do all the inside work. Exterior, we can, finish it, in partial payments, and, we can go stage by stage. So we want to add mulch, we want to add, paint the exterior, do this, do that. But then we were like, okay, so if we want to flip it, then we'll do some exterior work. So we talked to our contractor, made like a change order, and he was pretty good. Like our contractor, he's pretty good. So he understood our situation, and we were like, we don't have enough money. So like, so he gave us like a great deal.
How do you manage something like that from a distance?
We do weekly updates from the contractor. So he has like a project manager. The project manager sends us, weekly update. But for most of the parts, he asked me what finishes and what stuff I want to do in the house, like what tiles to put in. So I gave him all the Home Depot links. I asked him what budget he's going for or he's looking at for like tiles. So I picked a lot of items from him. He went and, this project manager called me from Home Depot. I was there on the phone with him. I was like, oh, pick this, pick that, went to like a very simple Morton finish.
Okay, so give me the numbers. Like, what did the rehab end up costing you with all the kind of change orders and some of the extras? What did you guys end up spending on?
75,000.
75K, so 15,000 over budget.
Yeah.
And then what did the property end up selling for?
So we listed at 275.
So why did you list it $25,000 higher than what you were expecting?
So when we were ready to list, we again asked the realtor for comps.
Yeah.
And we found that property was selling for like 309 and 315, and about not on the same street, but adjoining streets.
Yeah.
So our realtor was still maintaining the 250 figure, but then we listed at 275. We
So that was
sold
your
it.
choice. The realtor said, let's stay at 250.
Yeah.
You said, no, we think we can get 275 based on the comps that we're seeing in the market
Yep.
and things like that.
Yeah, and then also, so we got sold in 3 days. We got two offers. 281,111 was the offer that we accepted finally.
Okay, wait. So the two offers, you got two offers in 3 days. You got two offers. What were the offers? Do you remember what they were when they came in first?
One was an offer that had like escalation. So they offered 276 going up to 280. And then the second one was 280.
Our choice was to go with the buyer who went to the FHA loan, and then there was no other inspection on the property. They just wanted to do silver scoping and then cutting the tree branches a bit. So we did that. And then, I also want to mention that we are very buyer focused. So what we do for each project that we have is that we do building inspection before and after. So one before rehab or during the rehab, and one at the end, where we are able to give a very clean report to the buyer. The second is that we do a home warranty for all projects. And in this case also, sewer scoping was all covered,
If there are any blockages or whatever, so it's covered under the sewer warranty and everything.
And then the third thing is all our projects are designed by a professional interior designer.
That came after this project.
Yeah. So now what's everything is color coded perfectly, matching with the bathroom, kitchen cabinets, backsplash, everything. So that's something that we've started after this project. But he was also involved in this project too.
What does that cost you, interior designer?
So he's from Canada. We pay him about $1,000
$1,000
a project?
per project.
So home warranty, inspection. I think the inspection piece is interesting. Or do you use the same inspector to come back multiple times, or do you use a different inspector?
Oh, the same inspector.
Same person that did it before. They'll come in after to make and give a report. Yeah. Okay. The inspectors are always the people that drove me crazy when I was flipping houses, like a lot of houses. It was the fact that they're trying to justify the amount of cost that they're paying. So if I'm paying you like $550 to inspect the home as a buyer, it's like, how do I get you your $550 or $1,000 back so I pay for my cost? So when you have the same person come in, they're basically like justifying that you did the things that they said that you should fix. You already know what they're looking for. And they're not like, oh, I missed this on the first one or the second one. You know what I mean? Okay, so your sale price went up like $31,000 and some change, and your rehab budget went up $15,000. So that's a good delta. When the rehab budget goes up less than the ARV goes up. What'd you guys end up making on this deal?
So we made about $60,000 on that.
$60,000.
Yep.
That's a pretty good few months of work. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, great. We're expecting the money now.
Yeah.
Today itself.
Oh, today? You get the money today?
Yeah.
Are you like refreshing? You have one screen of the podcast?
I checked my bank account like 5 times during the day already.
Okay, 60,000. That's great. So what are you going to do with the money? You going to go to Disney World or what?
So my plans are different. I want to, start investing into cash flowing property so that we diversify our portfolio a bit, and so that will help us in the future. So want to leave like a legacy behind for kids, for family. We want to be like work towards our financial freedom.
Yeah. So you mentioned you guys were going to keep this as a rental. What is your plan? Like you're going to take this money and you're going to go buy a rental, or you're going to keep some of these? What is the plan for you guys going forward?
Our plan is to buy like a duplex or a triplex, and put like get it within the 1% rule, so that we qualify for like doing like a BOR. I know perfect BORs are really very difficult to find, but even if we have like about 10-15K left in the property, we'll still look for something like that, because that helps, in the future with property value increasing. Pittsburgh, getting more, into like technical, and, has a lot of engineering colleges and universities over there. So I think the price of the property are like appreciating quite a bit. And as long as we are in the positives, we are good.
And so have you guys gone to hard money now, or are you still using friends and family money?
No, we
gone to hard money.
Okay, so now you could use some of that money for the gap. When
Yes.
you
Yes.
mentioned take it and go do 3 projects, you're
Correct.
able to take it and use it as gap funding on 3
Yep.
projects that hard money
Correct.
lenders would do.
Absolutely.
Okay, got it. Okay, so what are some things that you can share with the people that are listening that you learned that helped you through this project that might help them?
So the most important thing here is the extent of the rehab. That's very important. You shouldn't always, should look at what you're aiming for in the ARV and then not go overboard with the rehab. So there were a number of things which we could have done even in this project. It only had one bathroom. We could always add another half bath, at the main floor level. But we avoided, the going that route. And instead, we just concentrated on finishing the kitchen. We did open out the kitchen, so we broke a wall, and then we added
We made like a
cutout and a dining counter, so for breakfast, etc. But I think the buyers, they really appreciated what they're getting because this was like a first buyer home for them. And in fact, one of the purchasers, they wrote a very touching, emotional letter when they applied for the house. So, that was how we went. We tried to do everything as per the inspection report. So that also really helps, and it's like a peace of mind, with the home warranty and things like that. So everything was new: the roof, all the appliances. We took care of everything in the inspection report, the furnace, the air conditioning, everything was new. But still, when we provide a home warranty, in case there's a roof leak, about up to $1,000 it's covered. So that's an additional. And then they did go into detail in terms of sewer, the sewer scoping and things like that. So all that was all covered in the home warranty too. So that's like a peace of mind. So if you're buyer focused, I'm really sure that we should be able to sell fast in any market.
It's great. What kind of resources did you use from the 7-figure runway program during this time? Like, what are some things that maybe helped you, or maybe it's the accountability group or the videos? I don't know.
I'm pretty vocal in terms of being on the group, and I'm like pretty active. So whatever if I have some questions regarding if I should do this, or maybe regarding the rehab, if I should do this or do that. So I tend to like post questions, and then we have such a diverse community in the runway group that it helps us to like get answers in terms of like rehab. Going into this property, we were like I wanted to like make it into an open floor plan and stuff, but then we didn't have so much money to like do all of that. So you have to kind of get creative in terms of what you can do and what you can. So I ended up having like a cutout inside the kitchen wall so that more light can go through the kitchen, because it works, right? Anything creative, and we ended up making like a bar counter so that it helps to sell the house faster.
So Sohail actually uses a lot of the checklists and everything which is there in the content and in the 7-figure flipping group, and also he looks at all the specs, the interior designing and all that, the specs for bathroom.
Yeah, everything. Yeah. So like I go from pin to piano, everything should be covered. There's a whole checklist on 7-figure flipping where you can find that you should be doing this, and then everything is mentioned line by line item. So whenever I get a quote from my contractor, I go check this out, line by line. So I'm not missing anything. Any details that I'm not I'm missing, I'm like, if I go by that checklist, I'm like crossing everything out. So like even my contractor, sometimes they're like, we didn't account this, whether, and then I'm like, I catch everything, like I'm
he also had used the no lien certificate from the contractor, and also recently the promissory note.
Yes.
Yeah. So he uses a lot of all those documentation that we have in 7-figure flipping.
You're a true engineer.
Yes.
The checklist, the details. All right. What would you say to somebody who's on the sideline, wants to get started and just feels kind of stuck? Like,
actually, I wanna do this. I want to do this because when we were there at the 7-figure flipping event, live hacking event, I remember your words, and I'm quoting you, relentless action. That's what I go by. Like I'm not stopping I don't want to stop at anything, and keep doing what you're doing. Keep your heads down, and you will achieve success. That's what I go by.
I'm thankful to be on the journey with you guys and to spend some time together when you were here in January. Really great, getting to know you a little bit better, and everybody, like spending time on the farm and at the barn and at the office, and really being able to dive in with some of you on some of the scenario based training and stuff that we did in person. And you guys are listening. I can tell. I was a little worried when we first met, and you guys are telling me all these things that you're doing and all these plans, and you're mapping out all these ideas. And I've seen it go well. And I've also seen it go the wrong way too, a little bit wrong. And so if we're here to just kind of be some guardrails to say, hey, think about this. Like, it's okay to maybe do 50 houses this year instead of 100, and just you do it the right way and learn from other people's mistakes. So, all right, how can people find out more information about you guys? Like and what do you guys need? Do you need anything? Do you need more people with $175,000 or so? Do you need more deals? Do you need some connections in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia?
In terms of what we need is for sure, like we'll need private investors if people are looking out for like making money. If people want to make more money, join us. We bought swag too.
Well, I appreciate you guys being here. How can people get in touch with you? Let's say they're a wholesaler in Pittsburgh or Philadelphia, or have a bunch of money and they want some awesome swag.
So you can go visit our website at www.mantribuildersinc.com. And I have an Instagram page too, mantribuilders_inc. There you can, find our, what we do. I post videos of, rehab, drone shots of projects, what is happening. So I'm like doing multiple things here and there.
Thank you guys for being here. I really enjoyed it. And I'll see everybody on the next show. If you like that deal breakdown and you want to see more, we have a lot more right here on our YouTube channel and on my podcast, 7 Figure Flipping. Make sure that you subscribe, you like it, and you share it with a friend who also wants to make a ton of money flipping houses.